رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي. Okay, this miracle of the Qur'an is for people who like to see things from the point of view of science, and it's particularly those people who are interested both in medicine and in cosmology. So the verse you see in front of you is from Surah Fussilat, chapter number 41, verse number 53, which says, the translation of which is A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, we will show them our signs in the horizons and within themselves until it becomes clear to them that it is the truth. But is it not sufficient concerning your Lord that He is over all things a witness? Now, this is not a very direct miracle from the Quran. However, it is a contemplation of this specific verse. It says we'll show them our signs in the horizons and within themselves. Now what I've done is I've contemplated over a couple of signs of them in ourselves and in the horizon. So what I've done is I've taken a human eye. Well, first I'm showing you a sign within ourselves, which is a human eye. You see this human eye in front of you, and you know what happens, like this is the outer part of the eye, and this inside part, this is the iris, and this is the pupil, this is the inner part. And you know that this inner part, it dilates or contracts, becomes larger, becomes smaller, depending on the light of the outside. So for example, when it becomes darker, you're in a dark area, it becomes large so that it allows more light to come into the eye, so that the eye can easily see in the dark. And when it's very bright outside, this thing contracts, this black area becomes really small. It becomes so small, so it allows less light to enter the eye to avoid damaging the eye from the sharp, intense light on the outside. And you must have experienced this phenomenon when you get up from sleep and you suddenly turn on the light. You suddenly feel uneasy on the eyes. You just want to close your eyes because your eyes are not, the pupil hasn't become so small yet to avoid so much light entering your eyes. Or the opposite is also true. If you suddenly enter a dark room, everything seems dark, isn't it? But after some time, things start to become clearer and clearer. Not very clear as they're in the light, but they're much more clearer than than when you first entered the room, right? That's because the pupil had become so large, it allowed a lot of light to enter your eyes so you could see clearly. This was the way our eye functions, right? Our eye functions this way. It becomes, and by the way, it doesn't rapidly or suddenly happen, right? After a long time, after some time in the dark room, the pupil gradually becomes larger. Or if you go in a very intense light, it gradually becomes smaller and smaller. So it doesn't really happen at very fast speed. So it is a gradual contraction and dilation of the pupil to allow the light in or out. Now this is the system, this is the way our eye works. Now let me show you a picture, this picture in front of you on the right side. You can see sunrise or sunset, right? Now what's beautiful is the sun, the way the sun works, or the way it's actually our earth that rotates, but we'll just take it in terms of the sunrise and sunset, but we know it's the earth that rotates. The way the sun works is, when it rises from the darkness, it gradually increases its light. It lightens up the horizon first, and then the skies, and then gradually the light goes over the entire sky in the midday, and then gradually the sunset happens the same way. It gradually takes away the light from the skies first, and then the light concentrates on the horizon, and then it gradually turns into darkness. So it's a very slow process. Now subhanallah, what I'm showing you here is the mechanism of the eye allowing the light to come in or out is the speed, and the mechanism with which it happens is totally compatible and is the same mechanism as the mechanism of the sun, and the way it allows the light to enter or exit from the earth, right? It is a very gradual process. The sun, which is the source of light, which gives light, has a gradual a sequence of increasing or decreasing the light, just as I, which is the source or the object of receiving light, has the same mechanism of gradually letting in or letting out of light. Subhanallah. This is an amazing sign of God. This is a sign on the horizon. This is a sign in ourselves that these two mechanisms are compatible with each other. Subhanallah, the creator of the sun, which is the source of light, took so much care of us that he created the mechanism of the sunlight just like the mechanism of the eye, and he created the mechanism of the eye to be compatible with the mechanism of the sun. Because imagine if you were standing outside somewhere on outside a building, and suddenly it was daytime, and suddenly, like the flick of a switch, it turned dark. It would be so uncomfortable for the human eye. Imagine you were driving on a highway and you're driving in sunlight, and it was not this gradual increase or decrease of light, it was a sudden, you're driving in daylight and suddenly turn into darkness. You would become so uncomfortable driving. It will be a very uncomfortable, it could be very dangerous. Or if you were driving in darkness, suddenly turn into light, it was like a flick of a switch. That would not be compatible with us. Subhanallah. This shows that the creator of these two, both these mechanisms are I, and the way the sun works, the sunrise and sunset, it is the one and the same creator who cares for us, who has taken care of us. He made sure the way the mechanism of the eye works is the way the mechanism of sunrise and sunset works. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. How amazing is this? We studied the eyes, the way these work, and the way sunset and sunrise. That's very obvious. But how compatible they are is what shows us, which becomes a sign for us as pointing towards the creator of both this is the sign in the horizon, this is the sign in ourselves. Subhanallah, how amazing is this? How amazing is this? Does not this point towards is the same creator of this and this on the left and the right? It's so amazing, super amazing. Subhanallah. Okay, and a big point that is noteworthy here is, subhanallah, it's not only that the Allah's system in the horizon and Allah's system in our bodies is compatible with each other, but look at that. The system in the horizon is the one that gives light, and the system in ourselves is the one that receives light. Subhanallah, the system of giving and receiving the light work in a very synchronized and harmonious fashion. Subhanallah. So may Allah give us complete conviction, certainty in Qur'an as the word of God. And then there's another amazing thing. Subhanallah. You see this, it just came to my mind that the sunlight, look at the creator. The sunlight, Allah created one single lamp, and this one lamp far away, miles and miles away, one lamp only, but when it illuminates everything brightly and clearly. But we the human beings, we are so weak that we create thousands and hundreds, we lighten up hundreds and thousands of lamps at night, close to us, very close to us, and yet they are not sufficient to lighten up things as much as the sun is sufficient. One and only lamp miles away, so much more powerful than thousands and thousands of lamps we lighten up at night that are so close to us. Subhanallah. So may Allah give us certainty of faith in the Qur'an as the word of God. And with that, we'll end the session. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.